Hi everyone, I'm Milenko Prvački. I'm an artist and educator and husband and father. And I will tell you stories which are related to your age and finally my age. I will talk about two things. Number one, about structure of my work. And when I'm talking about structure, I always think about spy. We all have a spy. The second part, it's about language. So my best friend for last 70 years was always dictionary. And like looking at kids reading books with fantastic, beautiful narratives and stories, I was reading dictionary. So I was always thinking I would like to base my structure of my work to base on dictionary structure. So there's no story, and you can interpret whatever you want. I have always my own story. If you ask me, I will tell you, but this is not relevant. You can interpret in your own way, and I'm very glad looking at you, how you interpret my work. It's always valid, yeah? So shall we do a tour? Okay. So this is all these 5 big works are part of one series of works. I worked 4 or 5 years with one kind of theme. And this time, it's all about abstraction. I call it abstraction for beginners. So the point is to make painting which mix up everything, what looks impossible, but they work together and maybe they're tasty, yeah, for your eyes. Okay? Yes?
Did you ever try to add because that one, it's either a T or half an H. That side also has a T or half an H, and I think this side also, yeah, a T.
Okay, that you're... Yes, there is a reason. Because I said it's like a project I mix up. When I came in Singapore, I was really impressed of batik, Balinese textile. And most of these textiles are starting with this kind of triangles. Did you see? I'm sure you have at home or you saw it. So this is something what I was very impressed about. But in the same time, it's very geometrical and very, very different than like when I swap and do actions of this. So I like this kind of contrast. Have very sharp, very soft, very geometric and very organic.
Did you paint it on, did you step on dog poo the morning that you painted that? Or was there no reason for it?
Oh, there's always reason. It's my own reason, you know. It's funny to say, but this shape which appear, it's based on one of most beautiful fresco paintings from Serbia, Byzantine time, and it's called White Angel. I have there some, but that shape of angel was my inspiration. It doesn't look like angel at all, but this is my own angel. Everyone is asking, what is this? Is this house? Is this a figure? Is this a portrait? Is this? And it's not. It's just there's some shapes which I put together without ambition. But if you recognize, then could be, yeah. A maze of Indians, they say it is, but it is not. So it's always this play that what you see and what you don't see, yeah. So
when you painted them,
yeah.
Did you paint them while they were on the wall, or did you paint them when they were on the floor?
Okay, good question. Because I have some elements you can see, especially in this two and all of them, some elements of very Chinese like brush paintings, which is I use very liquid color, and that kind of things you can't do on the wall. So that's why my floor looks like this. I first do kind of background on the floor, and then needs time to dry, and then when I'm happy, then I will put on the wall, and then walk on the wall. Yeah.
Seeing how it like dripped a lot, is it because you put it on the wall while it was still wet? That's why it had.
Yes, when you put on the floor, then it's fine. Nothing is dropping. But when you put on the wall, yes, it's gonna leak. I don't repair anything. If it's dropping, I leave it. Like I don't erase or I don't cover up this. So I'm very spontaneous. So in order to be spontaneous, you need to know what you want to do. Yeah.
The longest I've spent on one artwork was 8 hours.
Yeah, could be. There's no, yeah.
I see you trying to cover the blue thing, like you're using really like a happy color.
Okay, yeah, I'm very interested in gray colors. Gray colors are colors in between. So I never use colors direct from tube. You know, some artists, they do. They like very bright, electric colors. I'm always mixing colors, always trying to find colors in between colors. So that's why I avoid, or sometimes I have just accents which are very colorful, but generally I'm interested in colors in between colors. Okay, this is one of these works from series of abstraction for beginners. So the abstraction for beginners I mentioned before means that I indirectly somehow wants to teach audience, including you, what abstraction is about. And again, it's all based on dictionary, what I mentioned, because the dictionary allowed me, like in dictionary, not to follow narratives, but you know, dictionary it's alphabetic. It's about apple, it's about applause, it's about appointment. Nothing is connected. So that's why you can find very different language in one painting. Any question? Yes.
Why does that person / creature have 4 club-like arms?
What, like?
Club-like arms. You know, the clubs, the thing that you whack people with?
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't hear what it is.
Like clubs, you know, those big sticks that you whack people with?
No, you can, you know, my idea is not to tell you what to see. It's about how you can read. You can read whatever you want. But suddenly I needed the kind of shape which keep all things together. You know, it's like what I talk about spy, that, you know, we have all organs, but spy is something that keeps all body together. And even when we die, spy will still be there. Some organs will disappear, but spy is quite important. So, spine. So I find that I always have kind of element which keeps rest together. Yes.
Yeah, I don't really understand. You want to put a bright color with a dark color always together, and it's really bright paint with a really dark colored background.
This is what I said, it's always about gray colors. And then some paintings are light, like that one or that one, but this sometimes I used to have gray, darker tones. So that's what I'm always trying to do in my painting, to find a tone, you know, which cover everything, and it's kind of, it's a harmony of these elements and colors. Yeah?
Well, why didn't like polka dot on the kind of like a shape?
Dots, okay. You can think about whatever you want, but I will tell you my story. When I came in Singapore, I was very impressed of medicine man. I call it medicine man. You know, you have this Chinese medical shops, acupuncture, yeah? And then you have the figure of man with all kind of dots over. Did you see this? Yeah. So there's the points. So when I saw this first time, I was really impressed. I never saw it before. And that image of I call it medicine man, it's still with me. So sometimes I'm doing unconsciously, sometimes I just want to place this. Yeah.
To me, it looks a bit like chicken pox.
Like chicken pox. Yeah, could be, yeah. Did you have chicken pox?
No.
Oh, don't touch this one, okay?
I took my chicken pox shot. I should be safe for the next 2 years.
Okay.
If you made it, then put it on there, because I see how they have some paint strokes. Then how did the paint chips get all the way here?
Because when I walk on the floor, it's a different dimension. Sometimes it's small walk and then drop around. Sometimes it's big walk and then drop around. And when you mix different sizes, then it's dropping everywhere. And especially over there when I walk on the wall, or walk on this wall, you see, this is more drops here. So this is something, of course we wash the floor, but I don't touch this. This is kind of charm that make it like a painting studio. It's clean, you can sit down.
I guess it really gives that like art effect, like there's paint here, so.
Yeah, if we find a sponsorship, we can cut the floor and exhibit somewhere. But someone has to replace my floor.
But why don't you sell the floor? It looks like a.
I want to sell floor, definitely, it's a very good idea, but I need some sponsorship. Someone has to replace, otherwise I will drop in the car park.
If you're changing the floor, I suggest some wood.
Yeah, I can do wood. It's easier to replace. Yeah.
What if you just cut half the floor? Like if the floor is this thick, what if you cut it that thick? And take that much.
Yes, and then take wooden planks and cover it.
No, new technology maybe can help me to take pictures from top and then do prints and then sell like Milenko's floor four drops, color drops. Yeah. Good idea. I can do. Maybe I can make some money even.
Why is your handwriting so different in each painting?
Okay, and I always, when I do 4 or 5 years, one series of work, this time it's about abstraction for beginning. I always write this because I want to send very obvious message that this is what I want to be seen. But you can see whatever you want. So I have different series of trophy landscape, trophy painting, home, analog photographs. You know when you know what analog photographs are? So before digital one was analog photographs. You have 36 images, and in order to see what pictures you take, you have to develop all 36. And 30% is rubbish, so it's not success. So I use all these rubbish photographs, and I start to paint over. And then I realized that this is like when I was student in Romania, I would send to my mom postcard, I'm fine, I passed my exam, send me $200 or something like this. And it happened once in 2 months, yeah? And it was that kind of format. And now we have WhatsApp, we have emails, we communicate 100 times a day, but we don't have any evidence of that communication. There's no physical letter or postcard. So I found a box which my mom kept, where all my letters are there. Your mom can't keep your letters because you send message, emails. So that was my personal reason why I did like this. Yes?
You actually can keep them if you screenshot it and then you print it.
Yeah.
Is that a fish or a head?
This one.
Yeah.
You see? Now you see it, now you don't. It is head, but it is not.
It is or it is not?
It is, but it is not.
At first, I just thought it was like an abstract pattern.
What?
At first, I thought it was an abstract pattern.
Abstract parents. Could be. You can see whatever you want.
Why is like the whole thing went to see it like dark, and then you look to this tiny side, and then you see all those bright colors?
Yeah, because I want to cut it. Because everything is gray and it's darkish, then I want kind of entrance or exit to be light. It's like you have art which is very locked, so it's hermetic. And I like art which has open spaces, at least as an exit. Open door so you can exit, or open window you can exit and see something else. So if it's only this without that, triangles which are very light, very bright, will be a bit boring. So it's how to break,
It's how to balance it.
Yes. So when my students, and most of the time they lose attention. Then I will read. I see. I will just break this because it's a lead kind of that I like to have in my painting. If you see all this, even this, it was done in one piece on the floor. And then I stretch, and then I did this way. This is a bit darker than this, but it's the same background. And then I did geometrical part. I did my batik introduction. I combined with circle and with this shape. So it's a very kind of a mixture. And you can see on the bottom all layers that I used to paint. So, yes, my dear.
How do you make the texture of the...
This texture, I have to do on the floor. So I mix acrylic, it's very liquid. It's liquid, and I cover on the floor, so it needs few hours to dry. But then when you have liquid and mixture with medium, then it will drive in not really controllable way. I can't control how it will drive. It's like cracks, so they will do like this. So each of these colors, first this, then this, and then this, and then this whitish, I do, when it's dry, I do again, and then again. And it's around 4 or 5 layers here.
How come you did those round shapes on the character?
This one. Because I mentioned I like to mix up things, so I found that it need again some kind of central shape which keep things together. People always ask if this is a person, if this is a figure or whatever. But I modify this figure and shape in different ways, so that's it's always over. You can see behind and you can see over. So it match. It's about tonality. It's about how they stay together. That's always about this. I must tell you, I play when I do it. I really enjoy. I'm not suffering. Why did I?
Do Patrick. You did Patrick on that one and Patrick on this one.
I don't hear, sorry.
Patrick is a cartoon character that kind of looks like the figure that you drew.
He's a sea star.
Oh, that guy.
From SpongeBob.
I know.
Because we thought in that painting there was Patrick, and this guy looks just like Patrick.
There's you can find in some works very similar elements. I repeat, so that's it's cross, it's a that figure, it's a batik. This shape, it's playing a lot of dots. I like dots. Dots. It's not only because of Medicine Man, but it's a kind of visual elements which which differ from one to another. Yeah. You know what is decorative? Decorative when it's one shape and only one color. Yeah? So you have shape and one color is very decorative. Because I don't like decorative things, then I will fill up some shapes with something, like I have dots. When I start teaching, the first lesson is always about how to mix colors. And the lesson of doing squares, mixing colors, it's to learn about grace and to learn about quality of colors. And students never take it serious. They think it's boring, and you know. And I start to show them how to mix colors, and then I said, okay, I will use even this in my work. Even it's not lesson, but it's a lesson. It's kind of abstraction for beginners, so they learn how to mix colors. Always try before to find out your palette, how your tone will be. You mix always squares, mix colors, and then you know which colors are matching. Yeah, it's very simple.
That looks like a beehive.
Beehive. Okay, I will tell you, it's a fantastic question. My family was always beekeepers. My grandfather, my father. I stopped doing this because when bees bite me, I blow. I have a very bad reaction. But my house was always having each year 300-400 kgs of honey.
Ooh.
And when I came here, one of my first paintings was beehive, because I was remembering this and thinking of home, because I left my country, I left my home. So thinking about home and house, and I was thinking that usually the first home was made by bees. When people were staying in caves, bees already did build up their own home. And this is like kind of triangle around. And I did a lot of series of works of beehive. So that's appear again in my work quite essentially. My daughter is having now a big residency show in Berlin, which is talking about apis. Apis in Latin, it's bee. So she also got that traditional beekeeping habit in her art. Yeah.
Why is there like always these kind of sharp shapes here? Like there's always zigzags.
These triangles? Yeah. Okay, I mentioned before this is coming from Balinese batik and textile. So always they start with these triangles, by side. And if you go in Dobigo station, you will see my mosaic done 25 years ago. It starts also with this kind of triangles. So it's a mix, yeah. Yes?
I don't understand. It's like an optical illusion. Is it like the gray background or is it a white background?
This is not optical, it's a funny, but it's a very relevant question. It's about positive and negative. You can consider that background is dark and white, it's positive, but you can see, it's always, when you have this kind of situation, it's always about positive and negative.
So is it like asking the glass is half full or half empty?
It could be, why not? Everything has when you have two different things in one place, always you can say that this is positive or this is negative. But could be any of this. You can consider white as a positive and dark as a negative and opposite. Initially, I did white over the background.
But it still plays tricks on the eyes.
Yeah.